In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone. Welcome to the tech zone. We on our tech blow, and there's still a global market in case you didn't know. So many guests, we not trying to impress. Just wanna pass off the info. You could do the rest. See, there's no escaping tech. It's part of our lives. Keep every individual connected worldwide. But all this innovation is more than entertainment. It's people like you paving a new way every day. So let your imagination run wild with all the things that you dream about. Cause the tech zone is on now with Paul Amadeus Lane. Blah.
Hello and welcome to the Tech Zone. What's going on? It's me, Paul Amadeus Lane. So happy to be joining you today on the show. We got two incredible guests that's going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about music and how technology is allowing stars out there to entertain us as we are sheltering in place. We're also going to be talking about robotics and how the food industry is changing right before our eyes and how this has caught the eye of investors as well. So we're going to have a fantastic show. Sit back and enjoy it. Before we start it, what I wanted to say is welcome. Welcome to all of you. We're streaming on all formats now. Well, not all, but almost all. We're streaming live on Facebook, live stream, YouTube, the Twitter, all at the same time. We're going to be adding some more in future shows. So welcome, everyone. If you're new to the show, we welcome you to the Tech Zone, where we talk about technology, we talk about how it's impacting the world, and all that good stuff. So sit back and enjoy the show today. Coming up after the break, we're going to be joined by multi-award winner, multi-Grammy winner, producer, songwriter, arranger, Teddy Riley. Teddy's going to be joining me talking about what made him want to give us a concert on IG. And think about it, folks. If technology was not here and was not existent during this time, we wouldn't be able to watch it and see it. So it's pretty cool for me to catch up with him and talk about just what technology has meant to him and his music career, and really delve into how things are going for him right now. What is he up to now? We're also going to talk about, remember this? When I was in Vegas and I put on my chef hat, we were going to be joined by the good folks at Picnic and discuss how robotics is really a game changer right now and how it can help struggling businesses out there, especially in the restaurant field, to get back on their feet and to ensure consumer confidence out there in the midst of COVID-19. All right, if you want to connect with me, go to paulamadeouslane.com and all that good stuff. This is ABC News Radio, KMET. We'll be right back after these messages.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone. Blah. In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone. Blah.
ABC News Radio KMET. Welcome all of you. YouTube, live stream, the Twitter, Facebook. Did I miss anything? YouTube as well. Welcome all of you to the show. I am so excited to bring on our next guest. My next guest really transformed music for my generation. A new sound was born, and we all fell in love with it, and we can even groove to it even till this day. And he was able to share with us his musical talents during COVID-19. They really helped us to deal with being at home, sheltering in place, and we got to groove a little bit too. Who am I talking about? You know who it is. And I'm so happy right now to be joined by multi-platinum, multi-award-winning, the guy who transformed music in my generation, the great Teddy Riley. Teddy, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's my pleasure. If somebody would have told me when I was first listening to the Future album and also the Guy album that one day I'll be interviewing you, I'll be like, nah. But hey, my pleasure, my friend.
Well, man, all things are possible.
Absolutely.
And that's why I always take it as, all of my dreams have came true because we put it in the universe. See, you put it in the universe, so it was inevitable it's going to happen.
I love it.
Look at us now.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. And I just want to give you props, not only for the accomplishments that you've accomplished over the years, but you've done something really special for us during COVID-19. And, Teddy, it's a tough time for some of us, but you hopped on social media. You did some jams. What made you want to do that?
Because I felt like people are in need of love, encouragement, happiness while we're in this corona and, this crisis. And you got to take your mind and apply it to helping our earth, our women, our children. And that's what I was most concerned about.
And we are so happy that you were concerned about that because we got a treat. And Teddy, looking at the feedback that you've gotten from us, the fans, how did that personally make you feel that you were able to take us away in our minds, to the jams and the songs that we really grew up off on?
Well, it made me feel great because when you see that people appreciate something, it makes you do better, especially when I'm on stage. I just, we didn't know it was going to go that far. We didn't know it was going to get emotional. We just, that's how we are as music lovers and music people. It's more like impromptu. It's more like, wow, that's how I feel today.
And you know what, Teddy, when we look at just the technology we have today that makes this possible, think back to like 1989. And one day we would have so much access to our supporters, to our fans. It makes it a lot easier for us to share that love with them and talk about just how instrumental this technology with social media has been to you.
Well, for me, the technology and social media have been so amazing because, see, I was aware of this when I went to Manhattan School of Music to learn about the future of electronics. And I learned about Ethernet and internet coming and all the things that they prepared us for, even up to 3G. So I was very in tune with technology when it changed. I was on my first record. The first computer I used was an Atari to do Remember the Time. and Bobby Brown and all of those records that I did before we had Apple, Macintosh.
Wow, you took me way back to Atari and when you worked on Michael's album and Bobby's album. I remember when Bobby recounted the story of you, how he went to Ralph Tresvant and said, "Hey, the kid that did the show for Dougie Fresh? Man, I want him to do my album." And Teddy, to see just how tech has just turned music to what it is today. Do you think it helped it or hurt music? Give us your honest opinion on it.
Well, at one point, it did hurt the musicians because all we had to do was lean on the computers. And we didn't, at some point, I didn't need the musicians. I just did everything myself. And I played a guitar, even if it took me to take some strings off to get the actual chords that I want out of the 3 strings or the 4 strings. I did it. And that's how you hear some of these records with guitars on it. It's actually me. But I'll never, I tell people, that's the keyboard, but it's actually me. But I just took the strings off. But today it's now in tune. You still can have musicians. They play with the sequences. I never go on tour without a musician.
Nice. Yeah.
In fact, my battle was amazing because afterwards, I just wanted to jam for the people after the battle.
I love that. I love that. And I remember when my love of music, I was like 3 or 4 years old, started playing guitar, trumpet, keyboard, and then morphed on to other things. And the one thing that I've always appreciated about you, Teddy, was that when you started doing music and we heard it on the radio, right away I said, that cat is a musician. He is just not a person sitting behind some beat machine or something without the full musicality. And it came across in everything that you did. You're timeless in the stuff that you've created, man.
Well, thank you. Thanks to my uncle and my partner, Gusto, we own the Rooftop Records together. Thanks to Greg G from Disco 4, we all were partners. And we signed Kumo D. We signed a bunch of artists, and I just want to say thanks to them because they were my resource to having a piece of equipment. They bought it for me. Gusto, Uncle Willie, because my mom couldn't afford a Fender Rhodes or, the stuff that I needed to make these records. I had a DX7 and the S30 along with the Elise's sequencer until I got the Atari. And then Atari had eMagic, which is Logic today. We had eMagic, and that was in the Atari computer.
Man, you're taking me back, Teddy. You talked about the DX7. Let's play a little bit of DX7 trivia. E12, the bass from what song that Michael did from Captain EO?
Yep, the Lately.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, I use the Lately bass a lot. I use that on Go See the Doctor.
Yep.
Same thing with Keith Sweat, I Wanna. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? And that was all the Yamaha, because that's all we had. We didn't have the D550 or the Roland stuff until I got to Guy.
Yep, and that just transformed everything. We talked about Kumo D, and I remember the song Knowledge is King that you did. And it had a little sample from, was it Casey and the Sunshine Band? And you came out with boom, boom. I was like, oh my goodness. Teddy, your stuff is timeless, man. It's like, it just takes us there. We can remember where we were when we first heard Knowledge is King, when we first heard Groove Me, when we first heard all the jams. I mean, how does that make you feel personally, Teddy, that you're a part of our lives, man? I mean, and just a major part of our lives when it comes to music.
For me, man, it makes me feel good just to know that I'm living to see the flowers and I'm here to see the success still go, keeping myself, healthy and reserved for more to come, because I just really feel that there's more to come, but there's more lives to save, you
Hmm.
know. And my thing is through my music, I want to be able to do that. Save people lives. It is a cure.
Yeah.
Music is a cure. See, a lot of people don't think so,
Hmm.
but it's the frequencies that you put into the music that will help cure the soul, and that's what I use.
And you know what, Teddy? I'm gonna share something with you. I've never shared with anyone before. I was in an automobile accident in 1993 that left me a quadriplegic, and I was in the hospital for about 8 months. So there was about
Oh,
a 3 month period where I was in and out of consciousness. And my oldest sister, she bought us some headphones because I wouldn't talk to anybody. I was just in and out. She put the headphones on, and
that's
the
amazing.
the first song that I heard is from KGLH, and it was "You Gotta Go On from the break of dawn." Because Blackstreet knows. And I was like, oh my goodness, the guy dropped a new album. Because remember, I'm out. I've been out of the pocket for like 3 months. And then I heard you, oh, would you be mine tonight? I was like, oh my goodness, that's Teddy Riley, man. Oh, and Teddy, after that day, my family can tell you, after they put those headphones on, I like snapped out of it, man. I started to just come to myself. And
Amazing.
until this day, man, I remember that, man. I was at Harvard General USC in downtown Los Angeles, man, and that song, man, snapped me out of it because I was like, oh man, and Teddy did that lick. I was like, oh my goodness. So Teddy, I want to personally thank you for snapping
Thank
me out,
you, man.
man.
Listen, I can only tell you, working on all of these songs was my life, my journey. And I had to get it out, the stuff that my parents went through. And, you know, I just had to bring it out and make it a life experience for all of us, because everybody may be, we all from the same place when it comes to us as a people. And we all went through the tragics and the issues in the family, domestic, stuff that went on. And it was beneficial to us as music and creators, music people and creators, to put it on the phono. Sort of like country music. We were able to, and I was able to express everything that went on in my life and everything that I seen and everything my friends would tell me or they would go through. I put it on the record.
Yeah.
I put it in music.
We felt it. I'm telling you, we felt a connection. And when we look at of what's going on now and what else is in store for you, what are some of the future projects that you're working on to continue this legacy that you cemented over almost 40 years ago?
Well, I'm right now, there's so many things in store. I have my team, just picking the right things. And I'm moving more so to teaching, encouraging, and saving kids who want to be in the music industry but don't know how to go about it. We already remotely have moved into Ghana and Africa,
Nice.
and basically working with artists over there, Nigeria, Kenya, Cape Town, and all the different places over there. We're now working with the artists and helping them get where they need to go, because most of them are doing everything through their phone. And they may have a studio was like not as equipped as our studios here. So I have my godfather he owns a hotel in Ghana. And I asked him about this hotel about 2 weeks ago. And I said, what are you doing with the hotel? He said, well, we shut it down because we want to remodel it and cost too much money to remodel. So I said, can I remodel it?
Wow.
He said, yes, you can remodel it. You can do what you want with it. I said, okay. Well, I'm speaking to the people in Ghana already. And see, my godfather, I don't know if you know, heard of him, Dr. Smalls.
Oh, yeah.
That's my godfather.
Wow.
He's the first Afro-American to teach Black history in City College.
Yep.
New York. And he owns it with Julius Erving and I think Reggie Jackson. And they just wanted to do something, and they got the hotel out there, but it became very expensive. So I said, well, let me remodel it. Let's do this for me getting there and doing camps. And I can take a floor and make it into studios and green screen rooms so that we can do it all in one place out there. And then the rest of the floors, we rent them out.
Wow.
We'll make a resort once again. And he said, if you do that, that would help, you know, what I would say is my legacy. And I said, okay, consider it done. So that's our goal, you know, and we'll do it remotely if this corona still goes on for the next year or so, which I pray it doesn't.
Yeah.
If it does, we can do it remotely because we have people on the ground there and we can get it done. We have our attorney firm over there. We can get it done. So that's into our people here. This is where you want to go. Bam, if you go to Ghana, stay at our place.
Yeah. I love it. That's powerful. And we wish you nothing but success in this endeavor. And if anything that I can do personally to help out, please reach out to me. Let me know because we definitely have to be there for the newer generation and the kids. And
you probably know her. Her name is Stacy Barth.
Oh, yes. It's
my surrogate daughter. She's my goddaughter. And she started singing some of my past songs and everything that's been out. Like she did a rendition of If You Take Your Love Away From Me, Her Way. I said, that's a new song. So I said, can you do that with Where's Your Love? And she said, I'm gonna let me think about it. Because we both started using, well, she told me to use this program on the iPhone called Voicey.
Oh, yeah.
And Voicey does like all of the harmonies. All you have to do is put it in that key structure and it does the harmony. So I said, wow, that's like Imagine Heat. She said, yeah, that's why you sound like that. It's Imagine Heat. And I said, wow, you should do that. We should do that as a either a Blackstreet record or a Guy record.
I love it.
So it's just to give you a hint of what's to come.
I love it. And Teddy, I remember when you guys dropped the Guy, was it the Guy 3 album when you guys had Dancing and Love Online?
Yeah. Man,
till this day, man, whenever my wife and I listen to that song, man, we're just singing it at the top of our lungs, man, because, you know, that was transformational. And that really showed how on top of technology you were with that song. And
Love Online?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something. Love Online was something that I did. And I got married, meeting my first and only wife, my ex-wife. I met her online.
Wow.
It's so crazy.
Wow. I had no idea.
I'll never do that again.
I hear you. You say one and done, right? One and done. One and done. So Teddy, before I let you go, is there anything else out there you'd like to articulate to the viewer or the listener out there? And please, the floor is yours.
Well, I just want to say to all the listeners and all of the people out there, no matter who you are, we all going through this together. And I just want you all to just keep hope alive and stay prayed up. Everything is going to be all right, and this shall come to pass. But let's not be faithless. Let's stay strong. And like I said, stay prayed up. Bless up to you all.
I love it, Teddy. Thank you so much. And Teddy, one of my favorite songs by you is "Let's Stay Together" from the Future album. Um, can I get you to play a little lick on there, and I can sing it out?
Nothing up to play.
Oh no problem, no problem.
But I would have done it. Trust me, because that's what I love to do. It's just kind of play.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get back together,
hey,
for sure, and I promise you'll get that.
Hey, I love it, my friend. And Teddy, great talking with you. Much success, and please, continue to do what you do, man. You're an incredible person. You changed the way music was when I was growing up, and we thank you for that.
Ah, man, thank you. It's only because of you all, because when I see people reaction to my music, it makes me work harder. It makes me, want to come with more, and that's what I'm doing. I'm coming with more.
That was the great Teddy Riley. Boy, I enjoyed chatting with Teddy. I was hoping he had his keyboard on because I was going to sing, "You're all I want, you're all I need. Baby, let's stay together." But he said he'll have it for me next time, so that's going to be pretty awesome. I'm sure you guys enjoyed the battle he and Babyface did this past Monday. It was incredible. Two legendary songwriters and performers just giving us all the good vibes and the good music that we can all groove to today. All right, when we get back, we're going to talk about robotics and animation, all that other good stuff. More technology here on the Tech Zone on Paul Amadeus Lane. Be right back after these messages.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone. Blah. In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone. Blah.
Hello and welcome back to the Tech Zone. Paul Amadeus Lane. Thank you so much for tuning in on all of our formats here on ABC News Radio KMET. So happy to have you. CES 2020. I had a lot of fun, and if you have been following me for many years, that's like my playground. I like to roll around, see the cool technology out there. And one technology that really caught my eye, and if you are viewing this right now, either on live stream, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. Here, I had a chance to make a pizza. It was so good. At first, I couldn't believe that the good folks over at Picnic allowed me to do so, because I break stuff, right? But I had a great conversation with the CEO, Clayton Wood. Really connected with him. Really awesome guy. And I wanted to reach out to him to see how things are going now in the midst of COVID-19. Is there a push and demand for innovation when it comes to robotics in the restaurant field? And also, are investors taking notice? I am so happy to have with me right now this next gentleman. He's an Aggie. He's an Husky. And I'm so happy to call him my pal. Talking about Clayton Wood, CEO of Picnic. What's going on, Clayton? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Paul. Really glad to be here.
So, Clayton, if college football ever ramps up again, if the Aggies are playing uh, the um, the Huskies, who are you going to root for?
Well, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's takes up most of my Saturdays to try to squeeze in both those games. But I
Yeah,
think this year it's going to could be the Aggies' year if they actually play. So got to give them a shot at the top.
so Clayton, it's great to catch up with you. We had a blast together at CES 2020. You let me make a pizza. The pizza was delicious. We had a lot of fun, Clayton. And first, before we get started, hope you and the family and the team are all doing well and staying safe during COVID-19, my friend.
We are all safe and healthy, and very grateful for that. Hope the same is true on your side.
Thank you.
And at CES, I tell lots of people that CES story about your visit, and everybody gets a big kick out of it. That was a great time.
Hey, I appreciate that. I know some of my friends in my circle of the disabled circle, they're like, wow, you were able to make a pizza? I said, yeah, it's all automated, man. We can do this. We had a lot of fun. And again, thank you for allowing me to do it, Clayton. And so what you guys been up to since CES 2020? A lot has changed for all of us.
It really has. It really has. Well, CES was kind of the culmination for us. We were making pizza on the show floor. We actually got named to 2 different Best of CES lists, even though we weren't even an exhibitor at CES. So that was great fun. So we immediately started working on our next version, which is easier to clean, more reliable, ready for commercial deployment. So we're actually getting ready to deploy that this quarter, just in a few weeks. We're deploying that with our first customers, and we're excited to do that.
And that's awesome. And Clay, we've been playing a little bit of the video while we're just chatting right there so people can see me doing my Chef Boy Paulie impersonation when it comes to making pizzas and everything. And Clayton, one of the things I really wanted to chat with you about, especially during COVID-19, is that this piece of innovation, or the innovation that you guys are working on, it makes the environment in a restaurant, especially in the kitchen, more sanitary. And am I accurate in saying that, Clayton?
You're absolutely true. You can make a pizza basically with nobody touches the food. I mean, you do have to load in dough, but everything else is fully automated, and it can flow right into the oven. So you can go straight from starting the system to making a finished pizza. Nobody touches it. And I was just seeing some data this morning that said that in a post-COVID world, people going back to restaurants, what are their concerns? And 1 out of 3 people are concerned about the workers touching the food because has heightened awareness of the risk.
And Clayton, I kind of told the story before I had you on. You and I chatted about this. I remember when I was in elementary school, I worked in the cafeteria, and there's one thing that everyone had to have in the cafeteria. We had to have gloves. We had to have a hairnet. And if you had a jerry curl, you used to have a plastic bag around your head so things wouldn't get everywhere. You had to have a hat on and everything. And it seems like that in the restaurant world, professionals stopped doing that. And that always bothered me, Clayton. But I'm so glad with innovation like you guys have. I mean, it's really cementing my hope and really helping me to see that we can have a clean cooking environment that we can all trust and safety.
Absolutely. I think it has really raised everyone's consciousness. I know when we started this, one of our investors is in the restaurant business, and he pointed out, if you get someone to put a lemon in your drink, you probably got somebody's fingerprints on that lemon, and it's going right into your drink. And it's like, oh, I never thought about that. So there's a lot of those personal contact issues in food safety that people are going to have heightened consciousness about, and nobody wants anybody's personal contact anywhere near their food these days. And I think that's probably going to be a lasting trend into the future. I don't think anybody's going to want to go back.
And that's why, when we look at what we're dealing with right now, Clayton, it's really a horrible situation that we're dealing with. But there's so much that we can learn from this, just about being more sanitary, just practicing things that we took for granted. When we were younger, Clayton, I mean, our moms or our grandparents, aunties, uncles would smack our hand when we didn't have clean hands. And it seems like as we've gotten older, we have forgotten just some of the hygienic rules that we were guided at when we were younger. And when we look at just having this piece of innovation, this robotic piece of equipment that makes pizzas, it seems like this is really catching the eye of some VCs out there, some investors. Because let's face it, the economy now is kind of on shaky grounds, and there's still ones out there who want to invest, and they're looking at things that is going to further just our use out there, and really so they can get an ROI. And why do you think that this innovation right here, that investors are looking at this as a way of, hey, let me put some capital in there because I think it's to the right side of history?
Absolutely. I think there's multiple issues there. One is obviously restaurants have changed forever. A lot of the changes that are happening now were already underway. The trends toward delivery and carry out versus dining in, and just there was already a labor shortage before. Now there's no labor shortage, but the labor is a problem because people don't want workers working next to each other. We spoke to a potential client last week who's a hospital, and they have 4 people on their pizza make line, and they're thinking, well, if one of those people gets sick and they're standing right next to somebody else, they make somebody else sick, they just suddenly they're thinking about all those issues. And this is the way the investors are looking at it. They're looking at what does the world look like now that the world has changed? What's going to happen in the future that's different? And looking at restaurants needing to improve their margins because they're obviously under tremendous economic stress, and then restaurants needing to change their fundamental operations. Reducing the number of workers in the kitchen, reducing the risk of disease transmission. And then finally, one of the more savvy investors that we spoke to, who's looking at it more from a macroeconomic standpoint, he's saying, well, traditionally, if you have a recession, any kind of economic downturn, automation always does very well on the recovery because companies are looking to get back to their prior level of profitability as quickly as possible. So ready to go automation is a great bet in a recovery situation. And we're seeing, even now, we see increased interest from investors as people are getting over the shock and awe of being in this pandemic situation. And they're beginning to say, okay, what does the world need now to operate and what's going to be interesting in the future? And just in the last few weeks, we've seen a lot of increased interest.
And Clayton, when we look at robotics as a whole, I remember it was in 2016, I was on a panel for Black Enterprise for a Tech Connect summit that they were doing. And the panel before me had a group of engineers there, and they were talking about how there was a Mickey D's in Arizona that was fully automated, where you went there were no workers in there. And we were all like, oh man, this, I can't visualize that. What's up with that? We transport 4 years later. It seems like we want that now because just of safety reasons and just looking at the future and how things are going. When you have the human element that's taken out of something like this, does it make the experience more enjoyable or less errors for the consumer out there? What's been like the data looking like on that, Clayton, if you can speak on that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, there was already one of the main trends in restaurants is digitization. People actually they're accustomed to doing transactions through their phone or through a screen, and they like doing that. In fact, some of the younger people, they'd prefer dealing with a screen than dealing with a person. But then you also end up with less errors, more consistency. Consistency in the pizza business is the number one issue that we've heard from customers. What they're looking for is they want to consistently make the same pizza because it's their recipe. And if someone wants to come in and customize their order, they'd love for it to be customized consistently. If they want extra cheese, they want the same amount of extra cheese each time. And if you have one of these restaurants where you go in and you give a verbal instruction to a worker and they put a little of this, a little of that, if you do that 3 times in a row, you're going to get 3 different pizzas because the different way the worker is going to work. And the restaurant doesn't actually know how much ingredient was consumed. So as you're trying to improve consistency and efficiency, eliminating that human element has a lot of value. And so that was already a trend happening before. And again, just accelerating. Everything is happening digitally now. Restaurants that were dragging their feet on doing any kind of a digital interface are now forced to do digitally because no one's going to go in and place an in-person order in a restaurant. They can't. So it's all happening really fast, and it's going to really help restaurants be more efficient and run better as businesses. and we've seen how thin their margins were and how fragile they've been. And hopefully the industry can come out healthier. It's a lot of pain and suffering in the industry, but we're hopeful that we'll have a healthier food service industry coming out of this.
And I can attest to the fact I can co-sign on that, Clayton, because when I made that pizza at CES, it had enough pepperoni, it had enough cheese, enough sauce, and the cool thing about it was every slice that everyone had the same experience. I've ordered a pizza before where some of the toppings are kind of sparse on one side and kind of plenty on the other side. And now my wife and I are fighting over which side is ours. So this will save a lot of disagreements out there, Clayton, what you guys are doing with this robotics. It's like truly amazing. And Clayton, when we look at the ones who kind of balked at this maybe a few years ago, maybe even a few months ago, and how things have changed, what do you think their mindset is now, Clayton, looking at the way things are going?
I think, well, right now, in the middle of a crisis, everyone's focused on survival. How can I operate and still be around coming out of this? And if you're a deep-pocketed brand or you have a lot of locations, we've spoken to some big customers who are their revenue. We talked to a big restaurant operator for airports. They have 2,000 locations. Their revenue went from essentially $2 billion a year to zero overnight. And so that's a big blow for them. But they're a large company that can afford it, and they're going to take this opportunity to digitize and come out with a more efficient operation. If you're a smaller independent restaurant, we're installing it one next week. They're seeing how they've got a skeleton crew because they can't afford, their volumes are down, and they're seeing how their manual processes are breaking when they have like a Friday night rush, even though the rest of the week is slow. And they're realizing how much they need some systems to help them be more efficient and operate, get the orders in, get them consistently, get them out to the customer. They can't afford to be disappointing customers because there's a lot more choices, even in this world where restaurants are closed, a lot more takeout and delivery options now. Everybody's competing for that same customer dollar. You've got to, if you can't deliver on time and deliver quality, you may not be around.
And Clayton, I will be the first to tell you, when I go to a restaurant now during COVID-19 and I'm ordering curbside or having something delivered, I'm checking out the people who are handling my stuff. I'm sorry, I'm just skeptical like that now, just because of how we're living and where we're living in and the time that we're living in. And this will reassure the public out there, because I think you talked about earlier, even post COVID-19, some of us are still going to be like, wait a minute, let me make sure everything is cool. And to maybe have restaurants showing, hey, we have the picnic here, we have that and that, like, oh yeah, that's a smile of approval. That's like the good, was it the good home, I forget, better home seal of approval. So I'm dating myself with that, but you know what I mean, Clay. I think it was just, yeah, I think
in fact, I saw an article this morning in one of the industry blogs. I tweeted about it. Their prediction for the future is what they call contactless everything.
Yeah.
Everyone has this heightened awareness. They want to know, how is the food being handled? How is it being brought to my table? If you're getting delivery and you get the statement from the restaurant about what they're doing, and then you see the delivery guy and he gets out of his car and he's not wearing a mask or gloves and he's just handing the thing over. It's like, it makes you uncomfortable. And I think that discomfort, that awareness is really going to stick with us. It's just like, the shock of terrorism, and everybody started paying attention to abandoned bags and strange behavior. People are going to be paying a lot of attention to how their food is handled from now on.
And Clayton, spot on. Clayton, those are words to live by. I love the way you articulated that. And I put this on the Twitter, but I took it down because I didn't want nobody to lose their job. But you might have saw this, but I took it down. I went to one of the local restaurants up here because I'm trying to, help my economy up here and everything where I live at. And this was right after in California, that even in San Bernardino County where I live, where they said mask and gloves, especially when you're working at food. So the young lady who bought my food out had no mask, had no gloves. And I looked over at my wife. I said, this is ridiculous. I cannot believe this, and it's just something that we have to pay attention to, and that's why robotic innovation, like what you guys are doing over at Picnic, is just so. It's like, man, visionary. You know, when we had our discussion in January, my friend, we both had no idea how the world was going to change just in those few months, and it seems like 10 years ago, Clayton. It was only a few months ago, and to see where it's at, Clayton. Man, I tell you.
No, it's everybody's got to eat, and everybody's worried, and this is like one thing people don't want to worry about. You worry about going to the grocery store to buy food. You worry about who's going to bring your food and how is it prepared. People are looking for a safe port in a storm, and they would love to know their views have softened, let's say, on automation, however they felt about it before. They like the idea of nobody touching the food and having it being made in a contactless way. I think that's going to be a really appealing idea in the future. And it has the added benefit of helping the struggling industry get back on their feet and find a more efficient way to operate.
I totally agree. And I remember when we chatted again in January of this year, Clayton, you said that you guys are working on a taco prototype. How's that coming, my friend?
Well, yeah, it's funny you should mention that. As some of the customers who are coming to us now, they're not coming to us just because we're doing pizza. They're coming to us because they're looking for automation. And some of these guys their main thing maybe sandwiches or tacos, things other than pizza. And we want to be opportunistic, and we want to meet our customers where they are. So we may be moving up our schedule to look at other foods beyond pizza.
And before I let you go, looking at the way technology is today and how your company is a major part of this, Clayton, when you were in school, when you were at Texas A&M and then at the UW, did you ever think that you would see a time like this where food automation would just be starting to be like the norm for us?
No, I have to honestly say no. It's also interesting to me to see all the companies who are working in food automation. There's a lot of new companies probably haven't even heard of yet, but there's a lot of companies who have tried and have failed or are making major pivots trying to make it work. It's a hard thing to make it work. And we consider ourselves in a great position because of the approach that we've taken. And we think we're going to emerge as a leader because our system really works, and it's really cost effective, and it's versatile. And we think that there's going to be a lot more of this. It's not an easy problem to solve, or it would have already been solved. But clearly the time is now for this kind of technology. The world needs it.
Well said, Clayton. Well said. And when they come to you, these new companies, like, hey, Clayton, can you tell me all your secrets? And Clayton, I'm going to tell you what an old, wise street dude told me when I was growing up. Because I wanted to find out how he was able to have the nice clothes, have the nice car and everything. And he told me, he said, son, let me tell you something. He said, game is sold and not told. So what he was telling me was that if I needed to find out his secrets, it was going to cost something. So when they come to you, Clayton, you tell them, we worked hard for this. So if you want to know what I know, it don't come for free.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you, Paul.
There you go, Clayton. That was my, I guess, my class in Street Hustle 101. But you can take it or leave it. But, hey, always great catching up with you, Clayton. Is there anything else out there you'd like to articulate to the viewer and the listener out there just about Picnic or just in general that the public needs to be aware of?
I would just say if you want to learn more, you could find us at hellopicnic.com, on Twitter, @Picnic News. We'd love to hear from you if you've got an interest. We're a new company, but I think you'll be hearing more from us in the very near future.
Yes. And Clayton, I'm so happy that you and I met and been able to keep in contact with each other, because I've been watching from afar these last few months, and you're absolutely right. You guys are going to emerge as the leaders out there and continue much success. Continue to stay well and healthy out there, my friend, and we look forward to hearing more great things coming out from Picnic.
Thank you so much, Paul. It's great to see you.
That's my pal, Clayton Wood. Kind of give him a little street 101, game is sold, not told. I mean, you got to keep it 100 sometime, right? But hey, thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. I really appreciate having you guys with me. Look forward to talking to you next show. Until then, take care, folks, and please be safe out there.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.